What's going on? Welcome to another video. This one's geared more towards beginners. If you're just getting into the high ticket space and you're trying to get on an offer, you're not sure which offer to get on, this one's for you. So, this video is all about vetting the offers. All right. Now that you've gotten some conversations going, maybe you're speaking to some business owners and you're back and forth within some interviews. Maybe you've got some self-sourced offers lined up you're going to speak to. It's time to know what to ask in order to vet the offers. You want to make sure you're getting on the right offer, right? So there's usually three types of different offers, right? And your risk tolerance, that's going to come into play a little bit as to what kind of offer you want to partner up with, right? So first one is small companies. These are companies doing less than 100K a month, and they're just at the brink of scaling. Okay, so these are not as common, right? Because every startup is under 100K, right? Someone who's never sold anything, they're under 100K. Obviously, avoid those, but you're gonna find some companies that are maybe at 30, 40, 50K, 60K, 70K that are getting ready to scale up. If you're one of the first salespeople in those teams, you will become an integral part of that company, and down the line you can talk about equity and all the other good stuff, but let me not get into that. So you have to be careful with this, but if you find the right one, you can make a lot of money, higher percentages, your opinion matters and all that good stuff, and you grow with the company. Next is medium companies. These are companies doing 100 to 500K a month. They've already successfully built out a team. Now they're just in the process of doing more of that, right? They're on a trajectory, a growing trajectory already. You just come in, help them grow a little bit more. You're not as important to them as you would be to the smaller company, obviously, but you're still important to them if you can produce numbers. Then you have the big companies. These are companies doing $1 million a month or more. Everything is built out, huge team, huge infrastructure, everything like that. These, I usually, as a salesperson, when I was doing it, I stayed away from them because in my head, I was just a number to them, right? If you're on a team of 20, 30, 40, 50 salespeople, it shouldn't be that much. But there's companies doing $1 million a month or more, have big teams, and you're just going to be a number to them and you're very easily replaceable. It's just my opinion. Once you figured out which one of these quote unquote buckets the offer falls into, you move on to step number two, prove an offer. This is simple. All we're trying to do is make sure the offer has a minimum of 10 people they've successfully helped in the past to get results, right? If a certain process can be repeated by 10 people over and over and get results, it's proven, it's repeatable, it can be duplicated, etc., in my opinion. All right. Step three is marketing. Now you want to find out what they're doing for marketing, if anything, right? You want to make sure the offer you're going to be working with has their marketing dialed in. What lead sources they have, what social platforms are they using for their leads, what's their prospect journey, right? Whether they're using funnels, emails, cold DMs, VSL, cold calling, outbound, whatever it might be, you want to know this. Now, when you're applying for a closer position, you want to find out how many filtration layers do they have before a call makes it to the closer. Meaning, how much friction a prospect has to go through before they can book a spot on the closer's calendar. The more friction, the more filtration layers, the higher quality the call is going to be on the closer's calendar. The less filtration, the less friction, the lower quality lead. Okay, and I'm going to give you an example here in a second. And when you're applying for a setter position, you have to find out, are the people you're reaching out to as a setter, have they been nurtured, or are they cold from maybe an opt-in, or maybe they're from an opt-in a year ago, which is like semi-warm, right? So you want to know all these things. So obviously, the more information you have, the better. Here's an example. So offer one, it's an opt-in from 2021, outbound sales team sets calls directly to a closer, and the closer has 8 calls a day. Okay. Offer two is a VSL Facebook group. Prospects are nurtured. Setters put them to a triage. Triage disqualifies most and puts qualified calls on closer's calendar. Same thing. Closer gets 8 calls a day. Who do you think is going to be closing most of those deals, or who has a higher qualified leads on their calendar? It's offer two, because that prospect is going through a couple of layers of friction before they can make it on the closer's calendar. So our goal is to, I'd rather have, and again, this is just all opinion here, I would rather have less calls, but all qualified calls, than have my calendar booked out for a week and half of them don't show up or they're not qualified or anything like that. I'd rather be productive than busy. All right. Once the marketing is squared away, next step is to ask for verifiable proof of everything we've discussed so far. Right, the monthly revenue numbers, marketing funnels, commission payouts, websites, etc. Again, the more information, the better. Lastly, the next step is to try to see if you can actually talk to someone on their current sales team, right? Having the ability to talk to someone who's actually in the trenches on a daily fucking basis will give you actual insight into what their day to day looks like, right? Because that's a role you're going to be going into. And at the minimum, try to get the close rates and the commissions of one, the top closer, as well as the worst closer, the bottom closer. And then you'll know where most commissions fall into. Now, if you're just getting into the space, you'll also see the term OTE, right? On track earnings thrown around a lot. And a lot of them are valid, right? I'm not saying all are trash. A lot of them are valid, but there's shitty offers out there that promise ridiculous numbers and just aren't true for their offers, right? So make sure you do your own due diligence. Now, even after you're doing all this, when you're vetting a certain offer, there's never any guarantee in sales, right? You still might end up in a shitty offer, and there's never a guarantee that you're immediately going to start making six figures, right? I know people who got on a good offer, were making six figures relatively fast, and they thought it was their skill. Then they went on another offer, and now they can't break 2K a month, right? So a lot of time the offer is going to play a big role into how much money you're going to be making. Now, it requires work regardless of how good the company is. The goal is to be so good you become irreplaceable after a certain amount of time. Again, focus on one of these three, which one, where your risk tolerance is. Mine was always with the smaller companies, sometimes the medium, but mine always stayed with the smaller companies because I would go in. I know what I'm capable of. If I believed in the product, I know I can sell X amount of it, and I went and became an integral part of it. But if you're looking for more safety and more consistent flow of leads and all that good stuff, you don't have the ability to do bring in leads yourself. Focus on the medium ones. Personally, I stayed away from the big ones, but I'm not telling you to do whatever you're comfortable with. And that's it for this one. Hopefully, this helped a little bit. You can go vet some of your offers, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.